Mike for WineWeirdos.com, here for a second part of the interview with Augie from Cellars in Paso, Robles, California. I'm excited to try this one. This one is kind of a famous wine, the 2008 El Pape Central Coast Grenache Mourvèdre and Syrah blend, classic Rhone blend. How long have you been doing the El Pape?
El Pape we actually started in 2006, so this is our third vintage. It started off as actually auction lot for Hospice du Rhône. We made it the initial few cases strictly for the auction lot, and we loved it so much that that we made the blend larger. We kept some for ourselves also.
Great. And
sold it out of our tasting room, and it became such a big hit that we continued to make it and then grow the production, albeit just a little bit.
And as the title suggests, it's your take on the Chateauneuf de Pape?
Exactly. It's our version of Chateauneuf de Pape, which we love very much in our household. My wife Raquel and I were big fans of Chateauneuf de Papes, and we love to drink them. And this is my version of an old world Chateauneuf de Pape. Has lots of those savory characteristics that I love in those wines. Again, it's Grenache, primarily Grenache Mourvèdre with just a dollop of Syrah in it.
Now, you were telling me before that this one's 70% Grenache, and previously there was less Grenache, so for this 2008, you had to sort of play with the numbers and get the blend just right?
Correct. The first two vintages we had 55% Grenache, 5% Syrah, and the rest Mourvèdre. And those two vintages were very consistent in both flavors and aromatics in the wine. When we started making the blend this year, we went with those same. We started off with those same blend numbers, and it just didn't smell or taste like El Pape. So we played with our blends more and more. It took almost a full day, and wound up with a higher percentage of Grenache. We want the Grenache in this particular wine brings a real bright, aromatic, savory component to it.
I would say.
And so we bumped up the Grenache this year to 70%, 25% Mourvèdre, and then 5% Syrah.
The nose is fascinating. I'm getting this fascinating combination of cotton candy, maybe a little bit of bacon fat, and then you know, just a lot of fruit, like jam, like strawberry jam.
Exactly. You know, strawberry falls into two different camps, one being that light, bright strawberry, almost a Pinot Noirish type of Grenache, or the darker, more brooding boysenberry. The Grenache that's in this wine falls in that first camp, the strawberry type. And then the Mourvèdre gives it that meaty, edgy component in the background with the Syrah, just kind of filling in the gaps. This wine is spectacular with food because it has such an array of flavors and aromas in it that it can go easily with paella to a grilled skirt steak, and we actually use this a lot in our winemaker dinners for dessert because it has some citrusy, chocolatey components to it that go well with a chocolate dessert or a dessert that has an orange essence to it.
Outstanding. Well, let's give this a try. It is definitely bright and vibrant. I'm even getting a little of that tangerine or tangelo that you were talking about. The citrus, maybe a little spritz of lemon there. And but by all means, this is not. This is definitely Chateauneuf de Pape territory. That said, I'm getting, as the finish comes on, it's very, very long finish, getting some of that bacony sort of elements, but they're real subtle. I can see them coming out more with age, potentially.
With all of our wines, we use, well, with all the wines except for the Cabernet, but all of our Rhone varieties, all of our Pinot Noir varieties, we use at a minimum 25% whole cluster up to 100% whole cluster. And this wine, both the Mourvèdre and the Grenache is done with about 90% whole cluster.
Right.
So that's where you get a lot of those savory elements to it, both again aromatically and on the palate.
And it's 15.5 alcohol, but you would not know. It's handling it beautifully, and for being such a young wine, it's really handling it beautifully. Like, how would you say these do for aging? They can go maybe 5 to 10 years? Or?
5 to 10 years is the window that I like to put on our wines. Our wines do so much better with a minimum of 2 years age in the bottle. 5 year is a sweet spot, and easily 10 years before they start falling off the other end.
Outstanding. What's the retail price on the El Pape?
On the El Pape is $28.
Wow, I'm sorry. They're giving it away here at Hug Cellars. I mean, how many cases of the El Pape?
We this year, this vintage, we've actually bumped our production up to about 175 cases, which is a big lot for us.
If this thing is not sold out by the next time I come up here, I'll be shocked. I mean, $28. I thought he was going to say 55, and I was going to shake my head and say, "Well done." This is the quality of this wine, the fruit that it offers, the dynamic character at such a young age. I'm impressed, Augie. That's really
traditionally this wine does sell out within the first couple of months. We just released it at the end of March, and typically we'll be sold out of it by the beginning of summer.
It's pretty hard not to love. It's a delicious wine. Mike for WineWeirdos.com, a little speechless on this one with Augie Hug at Hug Cellars in Paso Robles, California. We'll be back for one more, having a lot of fun here on a Sunday morning of all things. Cheers.